What's up, Angel City? It's your girl Panda here for another episode of Angel City Chicks. And of course, I am your host, and I am doing this alongside the wonderful, the beautiful, the frustrated Nina. What's going on, Nina?
Oh my goodness. What's up, Angel City? It is another lovely Tuesday, and we are here to bring you the latest and greatest from your Angel City, as well as throughout the NWSL if you stick around for the second half of our episode. But don't forget to like, subscribe, get at us in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking, whether you agree, disagree, and send us a DM if you agree or disagree as well. You know, we're here for the camaraderie. We're here to bring you the latest and greatest from your team.
Absolutely. We are here to grow with you and get better because of you. So, yes, drop us a comment, drop us a suggestion. If you like us, you can say that too. Like, hey, I really enjoy your podcast. Keep it up. Like, champion for us. We would love to hear from you all and just what you have to say about everything. Air your grievances, your frustrations, or share your victories in life and in, I don't know, just within this game as well. But
I like
anyways,
that. Victories in life.
victories in
Yeah.
life. We all have small victories in life, right? Like getting through a day of work without someone falling victim to your own hands, right, Nina?
Like without a coworker killing me?
Well, or you doing the opposite as well. We
Yeah,
all go through days where we really wish we could somehow change it or add or remove people to the day. And yeah, I mean, again, small victories. We made it. We are here sitting in front of you chatting about another Angel City performance that we didn't lose. So hey, there's that.
that's a
There you
victory,
go.
right?
Absolutely, that is
We're
a
gonna
victory,
take
but
the wins where we get them.
right, even though it wasn't a win, it was we won a point. How about that?
And a point on the road is always good. I think this one just kind of burns a little because we know we could have done more and we know we needed more. But before we get into the game, we're going to give you guys some Angel City news. Then we'll get into our game recap, followed by stats, standings, next Angel City match, short little preview, and then we'll look around the league and see what's happening with the NWSL. So I painted my nails, so I'm going to be like gesturing now because it's like, ooh, pretty stuff. Look at my shiny things.
Look at my nails while I'm talking to you.
Yeah, see,
You
I told Amanda I did them myself,
they
and I
look
feel
great
like
from across the
so then
county.
you can when I get close, you can kinda tell that I did them myself,
I
but
did not. I'm good.
across the room, you
Okay,
know
yeah. If you were a professional like sign language artist, it would be just fine. So
there we go.
maybe you should show them off a little bit.
Like, what is it? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
I'm
That's where I
waiting for her
lose
to
it.
mess up.
Yeah,
Q
I don't know. Is this Q?
R, yeah, R S
S oh, so this
T
is A. S, T, U,
U
V.
V W X
Oh, X is this one,
Y
Y, and then Z.
Z. And we did
Hey!
it. Shout out to ASL, American Sign Language out there. We got your back. I mean, at the very least, it might take me an hour to say something to someone in sign language, spelling it out, but I could do it. I could communicate. And yeah, we used to do that in class all the time. Me and my friend Tracy from across the
So you
room,
could cheat on tests?
we'd be like, what
Oh,
is yeah,
we
we
would do
would
it to
sign to
cheat
each
on
other.
tests, which is why I only knew, like, A, B, C, D, E.
I had to ask the question, so I had to know, like what it was, like number 9.
Oh, I
Anyways,
like it. ACFC or ABCSD. All right.
ACFC.
That's a fun little intro for you. You know how we derail sometimes. But let's get into this. We've got some fun Angel City news. Last time we got to highlight a couple of call ups. And, we were all sitting here going, yeah, but we've got a really deep bench. We didn't really need the pressure to move it from a September game to an October game. And then this happens. Bada bing, bada boom. All the call ups you could ask for. Super
Right?
exciting to see 4 more Angel City players get the nod. That brings us to a total of 7 players called up for international duty. So we've got Claire Emsley called up. We've got Scarlett Camberos called up. We've got Amadine Henri called up. And M.A. Vignola called up
Woo!
for her first ever cap with the U.S. Women's National Team.
certainly deserves a round of applause. That's always a great honor to go out and represent your country, of course. And, the moving this game to October 2nd is certainly looking like a better and better idea. Hopefully,
Mhm.
all of these girls get some quality time, but also come back not exhausted, not like a beat up old Chevy that they took out and like went and mud with, like they did to most of
Are
you.
you having, like, flashbacks from,
Yes.
year 1
Absolutely, I am. I mean, we
with
know what happened. They took
Vanessa
it
Gilles?
took it out, for a nice little, ride around the block and brought it back, was like, "Ooh, sorry, it's a little beat up,
We
but,
broke your center back, but here.
it'll still do, right?" Mhm. Like, wow, thanks. Thanks so much. So, yes, I hope that everybody comes back unscathed and ready to go because when we talk about the next matchup that we have coming up, we know we are definitely going to need every one of them there and in 100% shape and ready to go. But
Yeah, I mean, I love this though. 7 players, 6 countries. This is a huge honor, and it really does speak to the diversity and the talent that is on this team. So, super excited to see everyone get this nod. There is one person who, when looking at this, I think a lot of us were on the same page. Like, how could they skip her? Sarah Gordon.
she is just not they just keep not giving her the love she deserves. I don't understand it. I'll be honest. If you ever just watch Sarah Gordon for a prolonged period of time, that girl is a hustler. She has saved so many balls that are coming into that attacking third and just been on point and coming back from an injury and just
Mhm.
being such a leader out there defensively. I need to know more. I need to know what they're seeing or what they're thinking. I need to know. There's got to be something we're just missing.
Right? I don't understand it. And, let us know in the chat what you're thinking. Did we get snubbed with Sarah? Should Sarah have been called up? Or are you just grateful we get to keep her in practice?
Right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on Angel City. Maybe she pulled.
I just don't get it. All
Yeah.
right. But, of course, if we counted other national team players that should be considered Angel City, we also have Julie Ertz playing.
Right. I know. I saw.
Still can't talk about
Like,
that.
she's not even list we don't call her up because she's no longer part of us, but we're not gonna spend any time on that. We've done that enough on the last 2 podcasts, but yeah, I mean, what a group of girls that are gonna be going off, and, yeah, we definitely need them. So, again, thankful that they rescheduled that match and are allowing them to go out and, represent their countries. That's such an honor, and I know something that all of these women as little girls probably aspired and looked up to be able to do that. So, again, big congrats to those, that are gonna be out there. Anyways,
Yeah.
yes,
And then,
Ben, it does still hurts. It hurts so bad.
And, we talk about how your feedback is important to us. So now we're getting into the Angel City game, doing things a little different than we've done in the past, just diving right in here before we go around the league. So let's talk about this matchup. We've already kind of alluded to the fact that we were away at Chicago. We ended up tying this match 2-2 draw, 1 point on the road. Those goals coming from Ali Riley and Junendo, and then Chicago's I'm sorry, I forgot to zoom on my thing first. Biana St. George and Shenya Matthews, uh, both scoring as well for Chicago. So draw pushed us into 7th place, heading into week 20 of the NWSL regular season. And we are now unbeaten, undetweeted, as Casual FC would say, in 11 consecutive matches.
Yeah, I mean that's such a huge accomplishment for this team considering how it all kind of started and so frustrating because I don't think we would be anywhere near this kind of fight right now in this point in the season had we just started out a little stronger, but just suffering too many losses in the beginning really has put us in a position to where we really do have to kind of fight for our life. And we definitely did that. I know I texted you in the middle of this game at one point when we were up, and I was like, we're above the line. Like, that's all we need to do. We just got to hold it down, win this
Mhm.
game, and we would have been above the playoff line. Doesn't mean a whole lot at this point. I mean, we'll get into how close this race is in just a moment. But yeah, I mean, we were so close. We're still so close, and we're just going to keep pushing. But One thing I wanted to highlight before we get into the actual matchup is what I like to call the Angel City effect. Now, I don't know if you
Ooh.
saw this, but apparently, according to the statistics out there for the Chicago Red Stars, they had the second largest standalone home crowd in their club's history when they were up against Angel City, 8,961, which sounds like such a small number to us because of what we're used to doing, but
Mhm.
a place like Chicago, who is relatively low on the attendance, for them to be able to draw these numbers, it's like, okay, you have fans there. And they showed up for a reason. And whether they came to see Angel City, whether they came out to support the Red Stars beating Angel City, I don't know what it was. But either way, that matchup garnered them second in their little club's history. And wow, that's pretty incredible. I mean, anytime I see this, knowing that in today's day and age that we are setting records, that just means this league is continuing to grow. This league is continuing to trend upwards, and you love to see it. And boy, did they have a show and a game to witness. I'm sure there are
Ooh,
going to
yeah.
be plenty of return fans for Chicago's next home game. I hope it wasn't just for Angel City. I hope that this crowd was just embracing the women's game in their own city.
And we do talk about our exes on this pod. This game featured one of our exes, a fan favorite, Carrie Riccaro, playing for Chicago in the midfield. And she shows up pretty early into this match. We looked really solid on defense to start the match. We had some great saves in the first 20 minutes from Didi Harachich, who was able to get the nod and start in goal, despite all of our commentary on the last episode. But Carrie Riccaro, making her impact known, letting us know that she misses us by trying to score on us. Yeah, her and forward Ella Stevens generated a bunch of opportunities from point blank range. And it was early signs of a defensive battle as Angel City also created a few set pieces with corners won, but were unable to capitalize.
Yeah, and then it wasn't until the 39th minute when Angel City's forward Claire Emsley, she's going to bomb a lob pass from outside of the upper right side of the box, giving midfielder Amandine Henry a clear header that was saved by Chicago's goalkeeper, the one, the only U.S. women's national team legend, Alyssa Nair. However, Angel City captain and defender Ali Riley was in the right place at the right time. She was able to dart the ball into the back of the net after bouncing off Nair's fingertips, and that is what gave Angel City a 1-0 lead, and that is pretty much what's going to lead us into halftime. So kind of it. There was a whole lot going on. All of a sudden, we get this nice little kind of ricochet that happened, and I know there was a little bit of a
Mhm.
controversy. They
A little
were
drama.
looking, they were looking, I think, at Madison Hammond at one pint. Hold on,
Oh, yeah. No, that's wine. That's not a pint.
I don't care. It's a drink. And anyways, Madison Hammond was in the box during the set piece kickoff. She was in an offside position. However, they did deem her not interfering with the play, meaning she was not crucial in drawing any defenders to
Mhm.
her or out here. Honestly, I don't think they even knew she was there. She was completely irrelevant to everybody that was there in the box, and that is what gave the VAR and the referees the right to go goal, Angel City. Thank goodness. You know those moments you're sitting there sweating, kind of like, I can't. Do I celebrate? Like this game has jaded me for celebration, like you would never believe. I hate it so much. Like I'm never sure about anything anymore. Let's just be
Yeah.
honest.
No, and if we're gonna really dive into this soccer offside rule, I just wanna clarify one thing first of all, it's offside,
It's
just
not
one.
multiples.
It's not multiple, it's
It's not
offside, the offside
offsides.
rule, you're not offsides, it's offside, and so in order to have the offside, you hit it on the head, you have to be in the opponent's half of the field, you have to be ahead of the ball, you have to be involved in active play, which was the big one that they called into question here for Hammond, and you have to have, gosh, how do I say this easily? I'm tripping over my words late at night. It's like the second to last defender thing. So the goalie counts as a defender. You have to have
Right.
less than two opponents between you and the goal. So just because of this one fact, this involved in active play, every other criteria is met. But as you said, Panda, nobody even knew she was there, basically. She was not
Right.
involved in active play. She didn't pull the keeper's attention. She didn't pull a defender's attention. If any defender had even slightly turned their body, I think this goal gets called back. But right call by VAR to overturn what was an on-field decision for an offside. So allowing the goal, love to see it, and love to see that Ali Riley smile.
And I will say this. I mean, like, no shade on the line judge. I think in that moment, it is very difficult from their angle to see
Mm-hmm.
who was involved in all that. They did see, I'm sure, clearly Madison Hammond offside. But I don't think you could tell from any of those angles. I think seeing it from that top angle was real crucial because you could see that no one adjusted their positioning at any point to really even pretend like they were covering her in any way. So I think, like I said, she could have been just a ghost out there and it wouldn't have mattered. And like I said, thankfully, we are going to be able to enter this half up 1-0, which is a perfect way for us to start this game. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that first half ended?
Yeah, the half ended with us actually shining defensively. We had 12 tackles, 12 interceptions, and we kept these hopes that we were going to jump into sixth place because I knew you and I were watching those live standings and we felt like we had the momentum. We were sitting in that. And in fact, we have not allowed a goal in the first half of 13 of our 19 matches so far this season. That's an impressive
Wow.
stat.
So we are solid, solid defensively, which is great. I mean, shutting a team down in the first half does a few things. One, it gives us confidence. Two, it forces the other team to adjust their tactics going into the second half because if we're shutting them down defensively, something it needs to change. And unfortunately, sometimes that does prove crucial for those other teams, and it's probably a good reason of why they are able to squeak one or two through in that second half. They do adjust. And, they're the ones that are making the adjustments a lot of times. If we go up 1-0 in the half, we're probably going to stay true to what we're at. We're going to have to react to whatever it is that they are changing. So, you see that a lot. And, we were in a good spot. I mean, I felt good
Mhm.
about it. It wasn't a whole lot too crazy in the beginning. It was exciting, defensively, but yeah, we that was going to change in the second half, wasn't it?
Change a little, yeah, definitely. I mean, you could tell when we came back from the half, we seemed intense. We seemed like we wanted to take on the second half and keep the Red Stars from creating shots on target. And that worked out really nicely for the first 22 minutes of the half, but unfortunately in the 65th minute, Herachich is able to actually make another save. I don't mean unfortunately. In the
Right.
65th minute, Herachich makes another key save off of her right foot after a threatening shot from Bianca St. George's, and shortly after the 68th minute, they were actually able to nail that equalizing goal with Ava Cook after dribbling between two ACFC defenders. And this one hurts because it hurts. It hurts.
It hurts.
Because anytime you're able to split defenders like that, and it was a pretty solid goal. Like, you don't want to look tired, and after coming out so intense, it really
Right.
hurts to get burned.
Yeah, it did. But, the good thing is it did not take long for Angel City to get the lead back. We're going to see June Endo break this tie in the 71st minute with an effortless shot to the back of the net after Emsley proved the perfect assist woman. And she forced her way past defenders. Chicago responded again minutes later after forward Shayna Matthews slipped the ball, and then they were able to even the score. So they literally just went back and back. So we got to celebrate, and then we had to deflate, unfortunately. So, man, you love to see those offensive efforts. You love to see kind of the back and forth option, but I really needed it to just be back, not back and forth this time.
Yeah, I know we like to go good news, bad news, good news, bad news, but I wanted this one. I wanted this one
Oh,
so bad.
I,
And
I know.
eh,
Ugh,
all
whatever.
right. So that kind of takes us into stoppage time. In the third minute of stoppage time, Alyssa Thompson dribbles the ball through defenders, setting up defender Madison Hammond with a really clean, beautiful pass right in front of goal, but unfortunately saved by that veteran Nair to seal the tie. And we finish the match with some amazing stats that we'll get into in a minute.
Right, yeah, we don't wanna talk about them, we wanna show them to you because that's what we like to do, give you some visuals, see it on paper. It makes a lot of sense if you are watching us on YouTube. So let's throw this up here.
Oh.
Of course, you see the first big stat line, 2-2, ended in a draw. What sticks out the most to you on this, Nina?
I would say how many freaking shots on target we have. Just insane.
Finally, finally, finally. Like I love to see that. Yes, we did not get those 3 points unfortunately, but we were certainly trying. And we are up against Alyssa Nair. Let's just not forget that for a moment. She's the US women's national team keeper. She denied so many people during the World Cup. I mean, going into it, they hadn't allowed like a shot on target even for her to even really save for so much. And I mean, she really was, I mean, a formidable force out there on that or in goal. And yeah,
Oh,
big
yeah.
props to her. I mean, we knew exactly what we needed to do, and that was pepper her with goals, and we did.
Yeah.
So
It's like in the locker room, Becky was like, she's going to save goals. So we got to shoot twice as much as we normally do and make them on target. And, it's interesting to me that we continue to make the subs we do because I feel like in our decision to sub certain forwards, we're almost doubling our chances of getting a nice, clean, accurate shot because everybody's coming in with fresh legs.
right, exactly. We have a lot of people that can do that. We've got LaRue, we've got Thompson, we've got Katie Johnson, we've got June Endo. These are all people that came off the bench, Nina.
Yeah.
These are all bench players that are all very
On no
lethal.
other team do you call them bench players, by the way.
No, absolutely not. They're starting for any other team, absolutely. But we've got them sitting behind, your Claire Emsleys and your Camberos, and who else was up front? I can't even think right now. Why am I
Don't
blanking?
brain me. It's the end of the day on a Tuesday. It's after my bedtime. Come
Oh
on
my
now.
gosh. Anyways, no, but we're strong up there. And as far as possession goes, we're pretty even, 49 to 51%. Our passes almost dead even as well. I mean, we were neck and neck with them most of the way.
Then you get to that
Our
offside.
except the offside. So we were definitely making those runs forward. Absolutely. And I mean, yeah, we're trying. I like this effort. I like what we're doing. Is there anything that you question at this point? Do you like our starting lineups? Do you like the way we're using our subs? Do you have any complaints at this point with the way things are doing?
You know, I actually really enjoy the way we're being coached. I think we're making the right subs at the right time. The only thing is that starting keeper position. I know I don't want to beat a dead horse, but
Please
I
don't.
please don't beat the dead horse.
It's already dead.
I mean, that's probably the only real change I would make. I feel like we're reacting well in situations. We're making good defensive subs when we need to. And those subs are coming in the form of midfielders and forwards, not necessarily messing with the back line. I like that we have a solid back line and that dynamic between the keeper and the defenders stays and remains the same and consistent throughout the game because I think that's a hard thing to switch up. And then it's your use of your midfield to either attack or defend. And I've really become a fan of this style. I saw this when we were playing the Galaxy, LAFC versus Galaxy most recently. And I was talking to JR about it. And he's like, yeah, because they use their midfielders to press up and to attack more. And it's uncomfortable because they're pressing through the middle like that. And it's true, but it works.
Clearly, something is working. We are undetweeted, as you said in our last, how many games now?
13, 11, 13. Gosh,
It's quite a bit, quite
an
a bit.
odd
So,
number.
a number of them, yes. Um,
11 consecutive matches.
perfect, perfect. I'd love to go back and rewatch the goals. Do you think any of them were savable?
I thought one of them was.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't blame Dee Dee necessarily. I know she's the
No,
last line of defense,
sure.
but
Yeah, but they're there for a reason.
yeah. So, but let's get into the standings now because this takes us through. And, we were very excited to almost break that playoff line, but unfortunately, we are sitting down in eighth. So we are just below this playoff line. If we got to get up into that sixth place spot. And that is all just based on that dang goal differential right there, knocking us down. Oh,
Man, talk about an important next game.
Yeah,
We take on, I believe, Orlando. Am I correct?
we do, we
Orlando,
do.
look at that. That's huge. Huge. We can't have them gaining or trumping any points over us at this point. So this is
And
gonna
I
be a
do
huge
believe
game.
that this graphic is actually wrong. I'm fact checking as we go. I believe our goal differential is actually -3, and that's why we're sitting below them. I think somebody in the NWSL got the graphic wrong.
Um,
Oops.
maybe. Are we at
I'm
negative
gonna
three?
Yeah, I'm gonna call the NWSL people right now.
You should totally do that and let them know about it.
I will.
Okay.
I will. I'm gonna call the NWSL people. But, when we look at Orlando Pride's last 5 games, they do have 2 losses in their last 5. We've got draws and wins. So, in terms of momentum, I think it's going our way. Do we wanna get into this next matchup?
Yeah, let's talk about our next matchup. It's going to be on October 2nd. It is the game that we have been talking about for the last couple podcasts about being moved. It was supposed to be, was it this weekend? I
Yeah,
believe.
the 21st. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was coming up. It was the 21st. And obviously, if you didn't know, we moved it because they wanted both teams to have their players available and not out on international duty because this is such an important part of the season. So I love that they did this. And I mean, like we said, with each call up we get, the more grateful I am that we are able to reschedule this and have our full force hopefully there for this game. It's going to be on a Monday. October 2nd
Woo!
at 7 o'clock p.m. at BMO Stadium against the Orlando Pride. Who doesn't love a Monday game to start the week?
It makes it fun, and as we look forward to Orlando Pride, what we can look forward to is needing that Sarah Gordon in the back because they are going to try for the counterattack. That's what they're known for. They're known for a lot of speed through the midfield, so look for that fast-paced ball and that fast-paced dribble. You know, those midfielders are gonna come in clutch as it turns into needing to defend on the Angel City side from a high point to avoid really allowing them to run away with the counterattack. So, looking forward to this game, but also very, very nervous. I don't know because this to me, like I'll say it now, if we don't get 3 points in this game, I don't know if we make playoffs.
I feel good about this game in the sense that it's at home. I think that's the part that really gives me a lot of confidence. These teams are very even as far as their wins. I mean, like we said, they are I think both let's see. Orlando has 8 and we have 6. They have 2 more wins, but they also have 4 more losses than us. So it's like they go big or go home at this point.
Yeah.
And like you said, our goal differential is virtually almost the same. So we're giving up and getting goals at relatively the same rate. And we're gonna be at home. I mean, home is definitely a hard place for teams to come in and win. They're gonna be fierce. This game is just as important for them as it is us. I think it's gonna be a battle. But I think we come out. I think it's gonna be 2-1. I think we're gonna win.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. I've learned not to go against Panda, so sure, I agree. I don't need to owe you
Yes.
more wine, but
Yeah. I mean, you need to because I'm drinking red because I'm out of all the whites.
I apologize for not bringing you
I
wine.
I told you about my wine last week, right?
Oh, no.
No, yeah, I did. I think I told you.
Oh, you told me about your margarita.
Oh, I didn't tell everybody else, did I?
We can tell it in the fluff. Stay
Okay,
for
and
the
the
fluff for a
save
fun
it for the
marg
fluff
story.
because I have 2 fun stories that involve, wine, so that's fun. You're gonna love it.
Yeah,
Anyways,
the important things that we get to.
so, I mean, look at this head-to-head record, though, between us and them. It is 1-1 and 1. Something is going to break, when we play them, and I hope it is them. I hope they break.
You hope they break?
I hope they
Break
break.
you down. I
Yeah.
love it.
I want it
I
to be
love it, I love it.
2-1 and 1, and that's all she wrote.
But, we do have to highlight something very exciting that's happening in the standings right now. For the first time in NWSL history, every single team has reached 20 points in a season. You gotta love that.
That just means that this playoff table is nowhere near decided. That is exactly what that means. No one is just running away. No one is falling off. These these are coming down. I mean, it's still anyone's game. Like I don't think no one has clinched and no one has been booted from playoffs at this point in the season, which is kind of insane if you think about it. We don't have that many time games left, and everyone's still up for the fight. Like,
Yeah.
wow. Talk about evenly matched insanity right here, but you love to see it. You love to see it.
It's so exciting. I mean, it just shows how much this sport is growing and the talent on every single team is being so equally distributed. You don't have any one team running away with it. Our last 2 games, we're going to play Houston Dash and Portland Thorns. Portland Thorns sitting atop of the table, but we know we can beat them.
We
So,
did. Yep.
and that means also it doesn't matter what spot you enter playoffs in. It's literally anybody's cup.
Right, exactly. Like the first place team and the sixth place team is going to be an insane matchup because they're still already close enough as it is. I mean, right now, sixth place has 26 points, first place has 32. Oh,
That's so close.
that's not that far considering how many games we've played. So everybody is just playing at a very high level. It just means you better be tuning in for all the games. They're all going to be insane. Everyone's going to be fighting for their life. And I can't wait to compare this slide that we have for the standings with the final slide for playoffs and just see who and what is actually really different and if it varies greatly from what we see right now.
Absolutely. And, as the playoffs approach and as teams are fighting for their lives, there are some people who are making a huge impact on that. And now we turn to the Golden Boot race. Bum,
Yes.
bum, bum. Unfortunately, no Angel City players making the list quite yet. We know we were watching for that assist one, but looking at the Golden Boot race right now, Portland Thorns with 2 players on the map. We've got, of course, Sophia Smith and Morgan Weaver. Sophia Smith sitting top of the table with 11 goals, followed by tied for second place, Ashley Hatch of Washington Spirit and Carolyn from NC Courage. And then
Yep, pretty big players and big names on that list. Keep an eye out with that. Love to see how that all shakes up. But is Sophia Smith still out? By the way, we haven't checked on that. How is she doing?
week to week, right? That's what they
Is
were
she still
saying.
week to
Just
week?
like
So she's
everybody
not
is week
really.
to week.
So she's not really adding anything to her goal list, and everyone else has that opportunity. So keep an eye on it. It could definitely change, depending on when she's able to be back in play. I'm not really sure, but either
Yeah.
way, there's a look at your Golden Boot race around the NWSL, and then let's move on to some fun news real quick. I saw this tweet which I thought was really cool. Do you want to
And
slide it on?
tweet, tweet, tweet.
Retweet. So if you're on YouTube right now, what you're looking at is Casey Current's new stadium. There it is.
So pretty.
Look at it. It is there. It is happening. It is for these women. And if I can find it, then I will read exactly what they said about it. I forget the caption. It was Dear Women's Sports, you're finally getting what you deserve.
I'm not crying, you're
I know.
crying.
I know. It's kind of a bit of a cheerder?
Cheerjerker.
I don't know what I just said. Wow. Anyways, and then it says love Kansas City. So yes, this is their stadium, the first ever women's soccer specific stadium, I think, in the world. I don't think
Love
anyone
this.
else has this. Everybody else is sharing and renting and playing
Mhm.
nice in each other's sandbox. This is Casey Current sandbox right there. They are the ones calling the shots. They are going to be the ones that are going to be able to say, yeah, you can play in our stadium. Or
They are
no, you
paving the
can't.
way.
We might potentially be in playoffs that weekend, so you can't come and play. Sorry, but
So,
pretty cool.
knowing it's not the biggest stadium and obviously some of our teams play in larger stadiums like San Diego Wave, do we think that NWSL still gives them, like, the championship game next did I say MLS? NWSL gives them the championship game next year because we know they're selecting spaces. Like, I feel like this is a stadium you have to highlight on a large scale, and they have to get some sort of massive game to celebrate.
I mean, probably. I mean, look, they're doing that with the Wave this year.
But the Wave have a giant stadium.
Yeah, I mean, how many does Casey's hold?
I think it's only like 10,000, 12,000.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the demand for these, I mean, like if they sell out stadiums or they put a lot of numbers up on the board for places like Portland and, the Wave down there and Snapdragon, then, I mean, you have to take that into account. I mean, the money, the revenue that could be lost from putting it in a place where it does only hold a certain amount, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, they should've why didn't they make it bigger, I guess? I don't know.
Money. It's privately financed. It's expensive. They've already put $117 million into this thing, you know?
Mm.
It's expensive. Yeah, capacity 11,500. I was right. I said 12,000.
Okay, yeah, that's kinda what I was looking up, so
Yeah. I remember things. I have a brain.
got it, got it.
But yeah, so can you put a major game in a stadium that only seats 12,000?
I don't know.
Good thing I
And
don't have
that's a
to
good
make
question, that's a good question.
decisions. Yeah.
Also, it's really
Alright.
funny, I was trying to find something about it, and I ran across this comment, and, this guy goes, "The 3rd soccer-specific stadium built for a women's professional soccer club in the US is a charm." And somebody's like, "What are the other 2?" And he's like, "Well, Wake Med Soccer Park was built for the Woosa Carolina Courage, who played their first season at UNC's Fetzer Field, and the Kennesaw State University Stadium was built in partnership with WPS Atlanta Beat and the university for their soccer program." So, I don't know, I'm kinda interested. I kinda wanna research
Dive
that
into
a
that a
little
little bit more.
more. Yeah, like, to kinda see what the narratives are behind that, but
Right?
I found that, and I just wanna, I don't know. I
Store
wanna make
that for
sure
the
whatever
next
we
pod.
say is correct, and what they're claiming as the first professional women's soccer-specific stadium, and what those claims are, and why they may not be technically on the list. I'm sure there's some formalities there that are preventing it from being there,
Yeah. Like, what
but,
do you
this
consider a
guy was
stadium?
definitely going in there and making sure he let people know that, no, that's not it, and I don't know how I feel about that, but either way,
Wow,
I just thought
shots fired.
I thought I'd read that. I was like, "Oh, okay, I see what you're saying," but, anyways. Moving
Alright.
on, speaking of new, speaking of shiny and new and growth and women's sports trending in the right direction, let's talk about something that happened today that I don't know, was not on my 2023 bingo card. I don't know about you, was it?
Not on mine, but I'm happy it happened.
Oh my goodness. We are shipping off to Boston, everybody. If you don't know what we are
Woo.
talking about, they announced today that the newest franchise that will be coming to the NWSL in 2026 is going to be in none other than Boston. What in the world are you thinking about this? I saw that. I was like, wait, what? I was like making sure it wasn't like, like some other league or something. I was
Right?
like, this is for real. Like, I did not see this coming. Like, there was no Kevin Baxter tweets about this anywhere.
I know, super exciting, and now we get to say Boston all the
Going
time.
off to Boston, your cousin from
From
Boston.
Boston. So
Exactly.
super excited to get to say Boston all the time, and can I say, like, I love this color scheme, like, green and black, really? Oh my gosh.
It's
Oh, I
fun.
love it, I love it, I
Yeah.
love it.
It's super, super cool, and yeah, I mean, I love to see some more on the East Coast. There was just so much chatter and talk about, another California team, and then, we got the Bay Area team, and we've got LA, we've got San Diego, we've got Portland, we've got OL Reign. Like, we are covering the coast, no doubt.
Yeah.
So I love to see this. Now we've got what, Orlando, we've got NC Courage, we've got Washington Spirit, we've got New Jersey, New York, Gotham, and now we've got Boston. Like, we are just covering these coasts, man. I can't wait to just fill it in the middle and just see this league grow. But congratulations to Boston. You are now part of the NWSL family. Welcome. You're going to love it here.
And, we invite you to take a seat at the bottom of the table. No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely. Watch everything from there. Let us know how the view is. Don't get too excited to come up to our view in the top where we will be by the time you guys enter the league.
Of course, this makes me nervous because that means we get to look forward to even more expansion drafts, and it's like, I don't like having X's. I like my players to stay my players. You can't have them, they're mine.
Yes, yes, yes. I
But
agree.
this is part of the growth.
I wonder who I wonder who's going to be up for it by that time.
I know. We'll have to wait and see.
It's
I
going to
mean,
be scary.
after this offseason, we have to start thinking about who is going to go to the Bay because I think there's a good chance they start looking at some of our players because we got that
Absolutely.
depth.
Yeah, we do. I mean, but they can only take what, one?
Yeah.
And then if we get is it the same where if someone gets chosen in our expansion draft one year, then they're not chosen in the next?
We'll have to look up the exact rules because I mean, we're still so new that I only know us from stealing from other people.
Right. I know in the MLS, if someone stole from us in one year, the next expansion draft, I think we're
You get
exempt from.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious because nobody chose from us did we have anybody new this year?
No, we were the
There's no
newest.
way. We've been the newest. So
Yeah.
next year we'll be open for business. And then we also have Utah Royals coming back.
Back.
So they're not considered an expansion, right? Like,
We're gonna have to do a whole episode on this. We're gonna have to dive into all the
yeah.
expansion nitty-gritty, but let's wait until after playoffs for that. Let's get ourselves into that playoff spot, you know.
Real quick, I wanted to read this. I just thought it was good. It's just so everybody should know, and it's important that obviously the announcement follows the addition of the Utah Royals and Bay FC, which are both slated to begin next year, like we said. NWSL in its 11th season is the fastest growing professional sports league in the US and in 2023 shattered its previous attendance record. So, congratulations to the NWSL for, growing out of your infancy and becoming a full-fledged toddler. It
Yeah,
makes
gotta love it.
growth and fits.
It's super exciting just to see the continued growth and expansion of this sport, you know. I I think there's only more to come. It's just gonna keep getting even more exciting.
That's what we've been saying. I mean, this is a great place for women's sports to be, especially within football and soccer. And it just keeps growing and growing. And it's thanks to all of you that are interested and listening, and for us for wanting to talk about it. I think we just need to keep the conversations going and alive. And we're just going to see this thing continue to kind of make leaps and bounds in terms of growth.
So, you know how we like to finish things off? We've got a quote from our coach, Becky Tweed, and she says, "We are aware of what's going on with the table. We need to focus on ourselves. We are just looking at our performance and how we can move forward. We will just continue to push every week."
What else can you do? You can't get too wrapped up on it. You can't get it all in semantics and who wins and who loses and how do they affect us. You really just got to go out there, put the boots on the turf, kick the ball in the back of the net, and come home a winner and let everything else sort itself out.
Yep. Can't bank on other teams losing or winning to get you into the playoffs. You got to go out there and do what it takes from you. And Becky Tweed and our girls are getting it done. So love to see it. Any final words before we fluff it up?
No, I have lots of fluff. I'm ready.
Make sure you stick around. Bye.
Bye.
And here's our fluff.
So I have two things I'd like to contribute to the fluff, if you wouldn't
Yes,
mind.
please contribute to the fluff.
One thing I know you know, but the rest of you all out there don't, and I think you would appreciate this story.
This is probably one of my favorite panda stories, too.
So on Thursday of this past week, I went to Orange Theory, the gym, and that early that morning, I grabbed all my stuff and threw it in there. I made sure I grabbed my little monitor for my heart rate, and I grabbed my water bottle, threw it in. I was super well prepared. I didn't forget anything, which is unlike me at 5:30 in the morning. So I got to Orange Theory and I filled up my water bottle and I got in there, got on the treadmill, was running, running, running. And about 12 minutes in was our first break on that block. And, took a drink of my water and instantly I was filled with regret. I was like, wait a second. And there was about 12 ounces of fluid in this bottle whenever I filled it up. And I was not thinking, but I was immediately reminded that 12 ounces of fluid was leftover lime margarita wine cocktail from Sunday whenever I was at the USA versus Mexico indoor game. So, needless to say, my workout was a little loosey goosey, had some
That's the
fun,
best.
and yeah, I just kept on going. I could have thrown it out, but I did not. I continued to drink my diluted wine margarita cocktail and crush my workout. So
Yeah,
do
you
not
gotta power
recommend.
through.
Yeah, I powered through. Do not recommend unless you are expecting it. When you don't
Lame.
expect it, it's like crap. A lot of things enter your head like, do I spit it out? Do I pour it out? Do I fill it up with water? Do I just power through and hope that maybe this will numb the pain later? Wasn't really sure, but either way, it happened. Whatever, we're good. I've moved on from it. So, but
Well
anyways,
done. I'm
yeah. And
so
then,
proud.
and then my second wine story. Oh my goodness. Last podcast, I opened up a nice bottle of Pinot Grigio from Urban Press, which is
Nice.
my favorite little winery tasting room here in Burbank. Nice bottle of wine, not your cheap kind that you get from Ralph's or whatever when you just need a glass
Not
of
the kind
wine
you're gonna
to.
be getting for winning our bet.
Right, exactly, not the yeah, 2 of hers might equal the cost of that one. But anyways, I poured a glass of wine, threw it in the fridge, and while I was doing that, Christian went out and he had to go grab some groceries and everything. And he came back and actually had dinner made and had a little plate of food already. And so I was like, oh, that's amazing. Thank you. And, got coffee for the next morning. He even put gas in my car and filled it up. So I
Ooh.
got like all these nice, sweet things,
Whoa.
which were incredible, only to be overshadowed by the fact that as I'm sitting there about to drink the last bit of my first glass of wine, he looks at me and he goes, "Was that Pinot Grigio from Urban Press?" I said, "Yeah, how'd you know?" He's like, "Oh, I just threw that bottle out." I'm like, "What? Sorry, what?" He goes, "Oh, I thought it was an open bottle of wine that was just old and you just had left it in there." And I'm like, "Have you met me? I'm never gonna leave a white wine bottle in the fridge, not drink. Red, maybe. Red may be a little too much. It may stay in there, and I may just not be in the mood to finish it. But white wine, I will drink that for breakfast if it's still there and it's at risk of going bad.
Yeah,
That
no shot.
thing,
I'll drink it even if it is bad.
that thing had 2 full glasses left of it. And again, it
Mm.
was like a $35 bottle of wine. And it just went down, down, down into the sink, down into the sewage where who
Oh,
knows, some homeless guys probably got drunk off my expensive wine, but either
so
way,
sad.
those are my stories. Thankfully, he evened his good and his bad out with each other, so I just kinda chalked it up to intervention for not needing any more glasses of wine for the evening, and I woke up feeling fresh as a daisy.
And of course, you're drinking wine now, so you're like so, just
Wednesday
that one
mornings
day.
at work are late start, meaning we have an hour of, like, where we sit there and we do, in-services, so
Well,
I'm
that
okay.
must
But
be nice.
anyways, that's my stories, my wine stories, and, yeah, good times. You
Yeah,
have
I
any
don't
stories? You are shipping off to New York.
yeah, leaving Thursday. So, I'll be
So,
back in time to podcast with you, so we'll still have our regular Tuesday night special.
yep, yep, yep. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Like we said, like, subscribe, and then also comment, please. Let us know your thoughts on everything. We don't know what we're doing. We're just trying our best, and hopefully, our best is at least entertaining and informative at the end of the day. But always love to see you all in the chat. If you haven't joined us for a live one yet, please pop in 7 o'clock on Tuesday nights, unless we post on our Instagram that we are not doing that.
7 o'clock on Tuesday nights, unless, of course, we don't do it on Tuesday.
Unless something else comes up and we're like, sorry, we got to do it next time. It's a really hard now that I'm at work. So, anyways, I got nothing else. What do you got? Anything else? Anybody out
Wrap it
there?
up, put a bow on it. See you next week.
All right, guys. Till next time.
Bueno.